unconsidered trifles.
I'm calling on behalf of the client.
Yes. Mr. Wick is otherwise engaged at present.
Does he have them yet?
Not yet, but by morning, definitely.
We have been very patient.
Indeed, and for that we are very grateful. But you will have the crimson letters very soon.
Good then. Good. The Apocalypse Players present Crimson Letters. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario by Alan Bligh. Starring Joseph Chance as Dr. Jonas Steinweg, Danann McAleer as Professor Duckworth, Dan Wheeler as Kirk Sleep, P.I. With our special guests, Doug McAndrew as Dr. Althea Montrose and Mike Perceval-Maxwell as P.J. Mahoney. The Keeper of Arcane Lore is Dominic Allen. Chapter 15, The Conqueror Worm.
You see something come around the side of the house.
Can I lean out of the window and get my hip flask out and raise a toast to it?
Yes, indeed.
I know this is something bad. I don't want to look at this if Montrose can find the effort of will to look away.
I don't look. I've got my eye on Wick. It's too opaque to be clear what it is.
What a relief.
But it's definitely a large shape, moving quickly.
Who's driving?
Well, if I'm reversing the car, then I'm looking behind me. See where I'm going.
Indeed. Very good.
We're such cowards.
Oh yeah, you better believe it.
I think, Dom, what I say is, but see, amidst the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude. A blood-red thing that hides from out the scenic solitude. To your help. Remembering, as I do, of course, the chilling words of Cecil Hunter and his quoting of the Conqueror worm.
Yes.
And then I come back in and I grab people by the shoulders and I say, we've done it, we've cracked it. This will be tenure for certain.
What are you talking about?
You'll get at least 10 years.
The car sort of like screeches on two wheels, the tyres squeal on the asphalt, and you...
Would you like me to make a drive roll?
No, I think that's fine. Where do you drive to? Is the question.
Where are we going, gents and Miss Montrose?
Away from this place and whatever that thing was.
We should have drinks. We should celebrate a dinner.
There is nothing to celebrate yet, Dr. Steinweg. We are no closer to our goal.
I grab Duckworth's hand and I shake his hand. And I always suspected that your face might have been taken by something supernatural. Now we must celebrate. It's perfect.
Yes. Quite. Where next, gentlemen? Where next? Mr. Wick?
I take it you didn't find anything, Miss Court's house?
No, it's been abandoned for some time.
Well, I guess the Mason house?
Yes, I believe so.
To Hob House.
If it is not she, but indeed he, then that would be the natural place to go next.
You're heading to Hob House. It's just less than a half-hour drive out of Arkham.
Excellent.
You drive through those... It's a sort of ancient-feeling place. These little hamlets and villages that with their gambrel roofs and their, all that stuff. The hills rise wild out here.
Yes.
And...
Don't they just?
Wick kind of directs you a little bit. He seems to know the way or remember the way. And you go through these winding country lanes. The trees get gnarlier and older, thicker, and the gloom becomes pervading. Even though there's a full moon out, a sort of blood moon, the wind has whipped up and the trees, shake, and the hedgerows hiss with the wind. A storm is blowing in, clearly. Rain begins to lash the car at one point. And ahead of you, you then see this mansion. It's this squat, blackened, lopsided thing on the horizon, caught in the moonlight. It looks like the roof has collapsed at one side. It's dilapidated and lying in ruin. But all around it, above, there are these occasional pulses like sheet lightning, but it's red, like blood red, and it keeps like flashing overhead. You're not quite sure what you're looking at. Under his breath, Wick mutters, "Witchfire."
I don't know. Witchfire.
What's that? Witchfire, Mr. Wick. Witchfire. Enlighten me, if you would.
It is the sign of... It is another mark that has been left.
I see.
We're close to it.
Yes.
And the seals are breaking. Reality may be thin here.
And your intention, Mr. Wick, is to intervene and prevent this from happening. Yes?
We have to. We have to now.
She looks at him very carefully. She asks that question. Very carefully.
If whatever is contained escapes, it won't just be our problem.
No. All right then.
I think you've probably all seen enough now to believe me.
You keep talking about...
Except for maybe Mr. Mahoney.
About things contained, things escaping, but you're very vague about exactly what it is. I mean, what are we talking about? Some kind of wild animal or something?
Yeah, like the cougar. Bright and brilliant like the cougar, but much bigger. Even bigger than a bear, I would say. What if there were 20 of them? Imagine. It would be marvelous. It's like one of your gridiron teams.
A mountain lion?
Oh, much bigger.
Oh. But you know what they say in the night, how easily is a bush supposed to bear?
I look at him with absolute horror and recognition. How long is my madness going to last? Is it true? Is that the sort of thing that could bring me out? That kind of terrifying Shakespearean quotation from out of the mouth of sleep?
Yeah, from the strangest of sources.
Probably as you're pulling up, your cheerfulness is subsiding, but you still have a mania, so that mania will flare up.
Yeah, love it.
At times of...
You've never said anything truer, Sleep. Supposed a bear.
Fearful symmetry. Yeah, love it.
Tiger burning bright, like the witchfire ends the night.
Oh, I know that one. Tiger, burns so bright.
I take out the pendant that I took from, I always want to call him Flannery, but that's not his name.
Anthony Flinders.
That I took out. It's still kind of smeared in his blood from when Sleep punched him so hard that he died. And I say, what could I do with this? Would it work against her or for her?
Wick actually laughs. And he says, I don't think some satanic trinket's going to be much use here.
All right, Mr. Wick. If we could just focus and try and be helpful to one another. Have you anything that might help?
Yeah, this was going to be my next question.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Excellent.
But you'll have to keep it busy.
Yes, of course. We are the pawns. I think we've realised that.
What? The cougar?
Be on your guard, is all I will say.
Dr. Duckworth, you are the bishop. P.J. Mahoney, you are the knight. Dr. Montrose is, of course, our queen, always working the angles in the silent...
We're all drafts, you fool, and only one of us can hope to be crowned.
Does he actually say that?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well.
That's all.
I say, I suppose I should use Provokiev's gambit then. And I get out of the car without saying anything else.
Listen. This ain't a game.
I also step out of the car, pull my fedora hard down on my head, put a camel in my mouth and light it.
Where the hell did the camel come from? Are you sure it ain't a dromedary?
I think he said a candle.
That's what I thought.
A camel cigarette.
A candle.
A candle. Stick of dynamite.
I get out of the car and I hike up my high-rise trousers.
Right up to the nipple.
I turn to Dr. Montrose and I say, well, Doctor, shall we?
Yes, let's put an end to this. I'm so tired. I want my bed, to be honest with you.
I think we could all do with a little sleep.
You got to save that for the last line of the scenario. It's like
May come back.
the end line and titles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I defer to Montrose and to Montrose, Duckworth, Mahoney, and Sleep in this moment. I offer my arm to Montrose, but otherwise I'm just drinking in this vitch fire.
I realise that we're in the end game now. I pull my sword out of its cane, tuck the cane back through my belt loop, and just have the sword out. And I've got my cloth with these tiny ripped holes for my eyes. I look like the early Jason Voorhees, before he got the hockey mask. I just turn to the others and say, well, shall we?
Yes.
Excellent. And I make my way up towards the front door.
PJ will check that his revolver is loaded and join you.
Abner Wick's with you as you walk up the steps, these rotting wooden steps up to the portcullis of this house. It looks quite dark within, and it's completely derelict. I mean, the door is actually hanging on its hinges, and it goes bang, 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 bang in the wind as you approach it.
If I am the first in line, the first thing I want to check is this portcullis. I don't want to be under it at any point for longer than I need to.
Oh, sorry, I mean like a portal.
Right, okay, thank fuck.
It's not a cast.
Yeah, in which case, I think I walk straight up and, put a kick to the hinge of the flapping door and try and kick it off its hinge.
Yeah, well, it flies open easily.
Excellent. Well, shall we?
And you find yourselves it's all wooden inside. Everything's sort of black wood, warped in places. There's quite a grand staircase that goes up in a big curve and doors off in different directions. The wind is actually blowing through the house. It's clearly windows missing and things like that.
So this was the house of Caleb Hobhouse, clerk of the court. And before that, we assume Keziah Mason's house, yeah?
As far as we know.
Yes.
Doesn't look like anybody's here. Cast the flashlight around.
There are many people who condemned those women who gained by their actions.
Oh, yes.
I imagine this was a nice house once.
Could I do a listen roll?
You can, yeah.
I'm going to spend 3 points of luck to pass it.
Somewhere coming from upstairs, there is a gentle susurration that you can't quite hear over the wind, but you catch it momentarily. It's a voice whispering.
Psychologically speaking, the answer will either be in the basement or the attic. Dr. Montrose, from your readings, what would you suggest?
Does anyone hear anything?
No, good suggestion. I see Sleep's face doing something, and I look intently at him. Can I do a psychology roll then?
Yeah.
I see Steinweg examining Sleep. Can I do a psychology roll?
I'm gonna have to spend 2 luck to pass my psychology roll, very disappointingly. I'm going to do that.
EJ looking at Steinweg, and I just want to see if he's still as sane as I thought he was.
Your turn.
Get involved, Montrose.
What can you hear? What can you hear, Mr. Sleep? I say, as I become intensely aware that everybody is studying everybody.
So you walk through the door, Sleep hears something upstairs, and then you all just stare at each other intently.
I came out with a really good, valid Jungian theory, actually. in the midst of that.
Yeah,
was
you
a
did.
very good one.
I mean, I'm wrong because I want to go to the basement, but that's fine.
I undermined it with frivolity.
No, quite right too.
So there's a lot of collective pensiveness, I think, is the
It's just this circle of people staring at each other.
Sleep, do you share your discovery?
About hearing something from upstairs. Not as such. I think I am.
Of course.
I look around and I say, Dr. Montrose.
Yes.
Maybe you want to take a friend and check out the basement. I might look upstairs.
Aye.
Well, now, here, gentlemen and lady.
I'm gonna do another psychology roll on him.
We, Mr. Wick, you say you can pass this on to a cellar, but perhaps, like the copies, surely it should be destroyed. Perhaps this whole place should be destroyed. This building is clearly derelict. Whatever's here, whatever is in that last house, it's not human. We should burn these papers, I believe. Perhaps we should start now.
You want to burn the papers?
Well, give me one good reason why we shouldn't.
If you had contained something awful inside a prison, would you burn down the prison?
Well, what was that something awful in the last house we were at? What were the awful things we've seen this entire time? They don't seem to be contained. Nothing you're saying is convincing me that...
Exactly.
I see. Right.
Dr. Duckworth, that's the point. The locks are failing.
Exactly.
We are here to repair them, to destroy them.
Because of the copies, yeah? The copies were flawed, like Hunter said.
I understand the theory. I'm just... Yes, Dr. Montrose, I'm sorry. You know more of this than I just... Yes, let's search the place. Let's search the place. I'm just... Yes, I'm on edge, perhaps.
I'll head down, happy to be prompted, not seeing anything here, and if there's a stairway or some way to get down into the basement, she goes looking for it.
Yeah, and I start making my way towards I start looking for a stairway to head upwards, and as I do, I start talking over my shoulder, and I say, when I was working for the police force in Detroit, there was actually a fire.
As soon as I hear that, I start following him because of the last couple of times I've managed to use his own narrative against him.
There was actually a fire, and you notice that I'm talking actively to you. I'm not doing self-narrative.
Oh, okay.
There was a fire in the police station.
Excellent.
No one knew how it started, but that jailhouse burnt down, and
yes,
some of the cons we had in there, they broke out. So if you think you can burn down a jailhouse and the cons will burn alive inside, well, you might be mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to trust Mr. Wick on this one.
No,
Yes.
quite.
The prison's important. We keep the prison.
Yes, I wouldn't like to burn any innocent people or guilty people. I'm against capital punishment. That wasn't my thought, but quite right.
No, you misunderstand me. We want to preserve the integrity of the prison.
I see.
Start making my way upstairs.
As you're going up, so you two going up the stairs, Dr. Montrose is looking around on the ground floor for a way
Downstairs.
The basement. What's Steinweg and Mahoney doing?
I'm very much with Dr. Montrose at that moment, but I think I do just gently halt her and say, "One moment," sort of slightly under my breath, and then I dash back over to Duckworth, and I say,
Yes?
I say, "I think you are always a man who has had a way of assuring a good night's sleep. But be careful what dreams may bring." And I look meaningfully at Duckworth, and then I give up with all of my attempts to communicate in front of Wick. And I say, "Good luck."
Thank you.
And then I dash back to Montrose.
And to you, Steinweg.
Aye, there's the rub.
And can you give me a power roll, Dr. Steinweg?
It is my best roll of the night. It is a 0-3 on an 80.
You suddenly get a bit of a headache, and then it starts to pass.
I love that as a result. For an extreme success on a power roll, you get a brief headache.
I stop and I do touch my head just as I'm right next to Montrose, and I say, well, it's a filthy habit anyway. And I take out the last of my cocaine, and I take it and I throw the tin away.
What's Mahoney doing?
So I think, based on the fact that neither Dr. Montrose nor Dr. Steinweg have firearms, I will join them in the search on the ground floor.
Okay, so 3 of you are together. Dr. Montrose. Could you give me a power roll, please?
Yes. Let's see. I think that's a pass. 48 is a pass. I suppose 60 is a normal success. Yes,
I was looking for I need a hard success.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't have the points of luck to spend, even if I wanted to.
You might be able to push it if that's an allowable thing.
Well, how aware is she even that anything untoward is to happen?
She has just seen me stop, rub my head in a weird way, and then do a dramatic gesture.
You all right there, Doctor?
Maybe there's something. Although in my behaviour, of course, that's not particularly untoward.
No. Well, throwing away your coke tin is
actually that's
fucking strange. That's not normal. Are you sure you want to get rid of your medicine there?
Dr. Montrose is saying this to you, asking about your medicine, as you're sort of rubbing your head, and then you look back up, and Dr. Montrose has put her hands on your shoulders, and she's leaning right into your face. And she's pulling you a little bit. Can you give me a fighting brawl roll, actually, or a dodge, depending on what you're doing? Do you try and break away, or do you try and?
I mean, my brawl is much better than my dodge. I mean, not much better, but it's better. But I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her, so
she's invading your space in a way that's less than welcome or pleasant. Is what I think
I'm because of that good power roll. I'm gonna blag with you, if that's all right, Dom, keeper of the dark houses of the outskirts of Arkham. That I'm going to try the dodge, and because I'm trying to get this pendant out.
Okay.
I'm trying to get out of the fight to get this pendant out. I am going to spend some luck. Okay, that's 46 on a 35. I'm going to spend 11 luck to pass my dodge. Ow.
Hey.
Fine. So you manage to break free just as you see Dr. Montrose's eyes suddenly glow incredibly bright.
Tits.
It's very strange. Dr. Montrose, you're completely unaware of this.
Yeah. What is it? What is it? I just want to make sure you're well.
Horrible.
Quickly! I shout. What? I shout to the room. Quickly, it's happening!
You recoil!
It's happening!
Doctor,
leave her with me! Mahoney, go up and protect the others!
Come here! What is it?
What's going on?
Just go up and protect the others! Yeah, and I take out the pendant and I say, I wish to know more. I wish to understand. And I'm going to try and use my Cthulhu mythos.
I thought that's what you were going to do.
I thought you were going to try and hypnotise her.
So did I.
That would have been more sensible earlier. 3 months ago, I would have tried that.
Give us a Cthulhu mythos roll.
You would have tried that before you'd spent an awful lot of time criticising the rest of us for trying to hypnotise people.
That is true.
Even when I'd spent points in hypnosis.
I do. There's a history of me negatively criticising what I call soft magic using in Call of Cthulhu. But we'll talk about that another time. It's a hot potato.
Yeah, it's for another time.
Potato. As you can tell, it's a sharp subject for us.
It comes down less to like the rules of the game and more to whether or not you believe Darren Brown.
I quoted the text.
D&D is a good system. It's very popular. If you want to go and run a podcast on it, what would you call it? Fun with your mate.
Oh, that's funny because there isn't a hypnosis skill in D&D, but there is in Call of Cthulhu. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. That is true. Shit. He fucking knows this stuff as well. But hey, you could be a purple rabbit who's half dragonborn and only plays on Wednesday.
Very true.
Give me a Cthulhu mythos roll.
Go on.
Oh, no, but I can't spend luck. Can I?
What's he got?
No.
You can.
On a mythos roll.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Because I've rolled a 0-9. So that's in my... Because I was thinking I can do luck, right? So just 4 more luck.
Yeah.
Which does leave me with only 32 luck now, so... This is not
That's plenty.
That's a load of
Me.
I had a lot of luck.
Yeah.
So-
Shit
At
ton.
this stage of the game, that's plenty.
So I say this. I mean, obviously it's a disaster. I'm going to kill myself and probably you, Althea. But
Okay.
Sure.
So you want... What are you trying to do? You're trying to...
He doesn't know what he's trying to do.
I'm trying to. I'll tell you exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to psychically create a bond of stasis, whereby I want to know more about why she, Keziah Mason, is trying to find more about me, and I'm trying to do it to buy time for them to go upstairs. So I'm basically trying to create I'm trying to create the middle space between the attic and the basement.
So what happens is, suddenly Dr. Montrose fixes you with this look, and you see infinities flash before your eyes, and you see Amelia Court, and she seems to be locked in some kind of struggle. She's desperately trying to push Keziah Mason away from her, this withered, sort of skeletal creature. She's trying to push it away, but it keeps clawing back. It's like she has extra limbs that crawl up and try and get into her mouth and her nostrils and her eye sockets and her ears. And you realise that Amelia Court is trying to seal this away, and Keziah Mason is trying to burst back out. What does Mahoney do when he sees this?
So all Mahoney's seen is Montrose kind of grabbing Steinweg by the shoulders and stare at him, and then Steinweg is stepping back and holding this thing, and he's shouting, "Go upstairs and get the others." So as far as he's concerned, there's nothing particularly weird going on here.
Montrose is just showing concern for his well-being.
Certainly not compared to all the antics that have gone on in the last 12 hours. So I think he's just going to say he's going to run up the stairs and get the others.
Fantastic. So going up the stairs, we've got Abnerwick is probably walking slightly behind you, Duckworth and Sleep. But Duckworth, can you give me a power roll?
I'd love to. Here we go. 25 on a 50. So is that just on a hard?
That's exactly a hard.
Exactly.
That is a hard success. However,
It's an opposed roll, isn't it? Oh dear.
You may well have wanted
is an opposed roll.
He likes them.
a supreme success or an existential success.
Exultant.
An exultant success.
Yes. So yeah, unfortunately, they got an extreme success.
And the bit they've got a shit hot power as well.
By they, of course you mean yeah. Every other player in this game who is against me.
So Sleep, you're on the stairs with Duckworth, who suddenly turns round and grabs you by the shoulders and whips the bag off his face. His eyes are these like golden glowing beams of light that he tries to look into your eyes. What do you do?
He's a lipless, lidless, glowing beast.
Well, I mean, is it... No one else has done a sanity roll for seeing this kind of thing, right? So I don't have to...
Actually, that's true. I didn't do a sanity roll for.
Well, no, you haven't looked into its eyes properly yet.
Ah, yeah.
Can you?
But it just looks a bit weird, does it?
Well, it depends if you've actually looked into it. Have you looked into its eyes? Have you looked?
Okay, so I'm going up ahead. So does he grab me and spin me round?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm just behind you, I think I'd grab you by the shoulders and turn you to look into my eyes. It's up to Dom, obviously, but that's how I was picturing.
Yeah. So you've got an opportunity to react physically.
Well, I think instinctively, if I feel grabbed from behind, I would do a fighting brawl roll to sort of shake that off and push him away. Maybe try and push him down the stairs.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Give me a fighting brawl roll. Danann, what's your fighting brawl?
Mine is 40.
Do you want to roll it? You can roll it if you like.
Yeah, of course. Right.
I think you might be all right.
I got a 40.
Great. A success.
Fucking 2 spot-ons. Yeah.
I take it sleep has failed.
I can't push it, can I?
No.
Luck.
No.
I can't. I don't have the luck. So I failed.
In which case, I need an extreme power roll.
No, of course, because he's touched you.
What, like my low power score is the root of problems in this whole scenario, isn't it?
You may as well have a go.
That's why I sent Mahoney up as backup. You guys will be fine.
Well, my power is 20. My power is 20.
I can tell you now, it's worth having a go.
Well, it's not.
Go on then, do it.
I made some good rolls. I made a brawl roll.
Have you rolled already? Danny, have you rolled?
Yeah, I've rolled.
Oh, shit. I know those eyes.
You suddenly feel like something is staring into your soul. You heard all this talk of witches and stuff. This is something else. This is something stranger. You feel like some kind of... It doesn't even feel like a spiritual force. It feels alien. It feels unterrestrial. And as you stare into this golden light, you see these teeth, just rows and rows of teeth that go on forever. You feel this burning in your skull, and you see your death over and over again in a million different ways. God.
You'll be fine. You won't lose any sanity for this, mate. That's what you've got.
It's like your soul itself is being put through some kind of crucible.
Oh, God.
And for Abner Wick, who's seeing this as he's sort of below you on the stairs, it's a couple of seconds, but for you, it goes on. It's as if like 24 hours passes in 6 months.
I know that feeling.
And can you give me a sanity roll, please?
Okay, I'd like to remind you that my sanity loss is halved because my mythos hardened.
Very
well
true.
Said.
Thank you for reminding me.
But I've obviously failed.
So this could
be it.
This could be the end of sleep.
Sleep no more.
No. He's fine.
You lose 3 points of sanity.
Oh, Christ.
Have you still got a point of sanity left?
I've never seen it. I've never seen this before. I've only ever seen people go straight through.
Wow.
I rolled a 6.
Of course, yeah. Perfect. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Mythos hardened. 1 sanity.
Still in the game.
Mythos hardened.
I take the little LED lights off my face and I go, I was just joking. What are you doing?
I feel like, ironically, my best chance of survival is to shoot myself in the face.
Do it while you're still sane.
Unfortunately, that is about madness. Because you are.
Sure.
Well,
it would be.
True.
Yeah, this could be the end of Duckworth.
Yeah.
Or Abner Wick.
Well, frankly, any of us, actually.
Come on, now.
45.
You see, well, no one sees this except for Abner Wick. Maybe Mahoney as he comes running up the stairs. You see Duckworth let go of sleep, who just sort of passes out on the stairs.
Thank fuck for that. That was the absolute best thing that could happen.
Amazing.
And as it happens, you just hear out of his mouth, and sleep.
This is why I work alone.
And ba-dum, 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 back down the stairs.
I think the first thing Mahoney's going to do when he reaches him is try and wake him up.
God, the cruel round goes on.
Don't touch me.
What did you do to him? What did you do to sleep?
You come to your senses and suddenly Mahoney's there. He wasn't there a second ago. Abner Wick's up next to you. What happened?
Well, what, me? So I do come...
Oh, no, they're saying it to Duckworth.
Oh,
I don't know. He just went for me. There's something affecting him in this place. Perhaps we should get him outside the house. We still haven't searched upstairs, though, and we need to finish this while we're here. We must finish this while we're here. Can you take him outside the house?
Who'd you say that to?
Wick. No, I don't. That's mental.
We might need him.
He's him.
Yeah, exactly. I say, don't worry, I'll bring him too. Wick, go and search upstairs. I'll join you if you shout for me. I'm sure it's empty.
He gives you a quizzical look and waddles up the stairs.
Yes, good.
I'll come with you, Mr. Wick.
Excellent.
PJ, don't... Well, yes, okay.
I have a flashlight, and I have a firearm. I'll be okay. You look after sleep.
Excellent. Yes, I shall.
How's Montrose doing throughout this? Is she...
Well, you tell me.
You've come back to your senses as well.
But did she find a way into the underground?
Where are these stairs now?
Oh my God! Thank goodness you were all right.
What is it?
Dr. Montrose.
Are you all right?
Through you, I gained access to some sort of insight to the young woman. She is fighting Keziah Mason even as we speak. We must help her.
What, Miss Court?
You and I, we are the key. We must help her while the others are up there.
She's not here.
Court.
Hello? Is anyone upstairs? Have you found her?
Court,
is she
Court
up there?
is here, but not in the calling out sort of way. She's here fighting her in the psychic realm, in the occult planes of existence. I know.
In the spare bedroom.
Exactly, it's the spare bedroom.
Well, how are we meant to help there?
There must be a way that we can help. And I'm clutching onto this thing, and my knuckles are white, and I start to laugh, and I go, "It's marvelous."
So do you know where she is? Is she here? Is she downstairs? Is she upstairs? Where is she, Doctor?
Okay, so Sleep definitely said for Montrose to go downstairs. I did pass my previous psychology check. So I know that I think that it's a ruse. So I say that to Montrose. You see, it is classic Sleep. He's trying to set us off the scent. He heard something upstairs, I think.
Maybe he's worried that if he sees it, then he'll lose it.
No, the other way around. Heroism leading him into total destruction. It's what he's wanted from the moment I've met him. But come on!
All right, we'll head back towards the stairs, I suppose, behind Mahoney. Right, fine, let's go upstairs. Upstairs.
So you start heading upstairs as well. Mahoney and Wick, you've got to the top of the stairs, and the landing. There are small doors off to either side, and then there's a big, dividing door that's folds in and out onto what you assume is a bigger room at the front of the house, so you can kind of open it to let the light, the sun in, and it's sort of partly open, and you can see behind, as the red lightning occasionally lights up the room, there are piles of books in there, all piled up, and there's the soft flicker of candlelight, and by now you can hear this sort of whispering voice.
Okay, so I'll kind of and wait for the others to get to the top of the stairs. And I think that's where we gotta go, but we gotta be careful.
She may have incredible resources at her disposal.
Yeah.
I thrust the pendant into Montrose's hand if she will allow me to, and I say, "Be careful. It is a symbol of the devil."
But this is just
no. I must
pointless.
I must help Duckworth with Sleep.
She takes the pendant and just thrusts it into a pocket.
Watch the others. Do not trust it. It is only a symbol. Scheiße, I'm too small. Let me get under him.
Hurry up. You're gonna go down and get them. Hurry up.
You take that. Go and check them. I will take him out. Help take him out. So I'll try and help Duckworth get Sleep out as fast as we can. Literally just throw him outside the house and then get back in there with him.
Yes. Chuck him out the door. Like bad milk. There he goes. He'll be fine. Sleep. Sleep!
Wake! Sleep! Wake!
Eventually he comes to his senses.
Dr. Montrose, I'm sure Duckworth will join us again. Duckworth, come up!
I think he's answering the call of nature out there.
Yeah, exactly. He's down there dealing with everything. I think we will only have one shot at this, Dr. Montrose. Do you remember anything from your studies?
I don't even know what it is that she's trying to do for us to intervene to stop it or save her. I don't.
But from what you said to me in the cab, it seems so long ago, the Mason dates, they are prime to the Jacobean uprising. Not Jacobean uprising. Sorry, that's wrong. My English is so bad. The Jacobean period of witchcraft. You know, do you have any text in your memory that you could use? Something that you could put trust in? All of your academic training, the powers that you have possessed.
I don't know. I have no idea what I'm even doing here and what's going on. I don't know.
Surely together we can try
Doctors.
Are you asking me to cast some sort of spell? I have no idea.
I spin round when he says doctors, like I'm a schoolboy being told off.
We're both spinning around.
It's just a young lady with a bunch of old papers. I don't know what you're talking about. I've got a firearm here. You've got a sword. You carrying a sword around with you? She's gonna give up the papers as soon as we say, Mr. Duckworth, you've returned.
I don't need to tell Mr. Duckworth or Mr. Vic what I am talking about. But you, PJ, you are now the knight at the threshold.
Knights and bishops and whatnot. We just gotta get on with it. Come on.
Spoken like a true knight. And I sit down next to her and I try and study what she's saying.
What, you next to Amelia Court?
So long as it's not interrupting any kind of ritual patterns or anything like that, yeah.
Oh, no,
Have we actually even gone into the room yet?
Oh.
Yeah, I thought you were still outside.
Yeah, I thought we were still outside.
I was going to go in.
You can kind of see through a crack in the door.
Sorry, my misunderstanding. I thought the doors were open, sorry.
They're sort of partly open, so you can kind of just about see in. As you get closer, you see that there is a kind of magical circle drawn on the floor in chalk, with candles at specific places. Amelia Court is sat kneeling, actually, in a small ball in the centre of this magical circle. She's chanting and whispering. The witch trial papers are laid out, open, unfolded in front of her. The room is electric with this red light that's very strange, and it makes you feel kind of disoriented.
I step back with the disorientation, and I leave Montrose's side, and I deliberately go back to Duckworth, and I grip hold of his arm.
Yes. Try to stand.
Is anyone else doing anything else physically?
I'm going to, as soon as I sort of had a moment to take in the situation, I'm going to stride over there and attempt to take the papers off.
Scheiße, nein!
It's caught. What are you doing?
Nein.
What are you doing here? This is crazy. You gotta give those papers back. They're stolen from the university.
Okay, in which case I sprint for him, and I try and stop him from physically touching her, or indeed involving himself with the papers.
Oh, I would like to do something else, so...
Which I've made much harder for myself, because I had a plan otherwise.
So this is Dex order again, 1 second.
Well, it counts against me, so I should probably go last or something, Dom, because I was obviously going in the wrong direction.
Danann, what did you say you were going to do something?
I wanted to speak to Amelia.
Well, that you can do without... Yeah, that's not going to get in the way, is it?
I mean, are we at the point where we're kind of acting in initiative order?
He did call that. I felt like I was jumping the gun, so instead of hissing... I was going to hiss to you, Duckworth. I was going to say, you can take Vic, right? And then I was going to get involved, but all of that's fucking gone out of the window, lad.
So, Mahoney, you stride up and you say what you've just said. Abner Wick, he speaks. He doesn't shout. He just says it quite clearly. He says, "Be careful," but he stays in the doorway for now. What does Steinweg do?
I sprint up to Mahoney. Even though I hear the words "be careful," I'm just concerned that he might just sort of cross the line of the chalk or all of that stuff. So I just kind of go up to him as fast as I possibly can and say, "You must not interrupt what she's doing. She's fighting the witch even now." And that's me.
Fantastic. Sleep. What happened to Sleep? So Sleep's outside. but awake. Is that what we're saying?
I think I maybe have just been woken up,
By being thrown outside.
but sort of just stirring. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tossed you onto the porch.
So if I look up at the windows that I can see at the top of the house, can I see anything?
You can see red light pulsating in there.
Climb up the drain pipe and do it.
Oh, God.
And just the distant sound of Darude's sandstorm.
I open my hip flask of bourbon whiskey and drain it.
Oh, here we go.
And
To fallen comrades.
I just sort of make my way round the house to see if I can see up into the top room from any other windows.
What does Duckworth do in this moment?
I think if I'm within hearing distance of Miss Court, I'm just going to say, Amelia, what do you mean to do? Do you mean to destroy it or use it?
She looks up at you and she says...
We are on your side, I believe.
She says, Amelia's not here. And she holds out her hand. Can you give me a power roll?
Yeah. A 1. So, a 1 on a 50. So my power was very good.
Oh, wow. You feel a kind of discomfort in your stomach, but then you realise that whatever she's doing isn't working, and because her attention is clearly split between several different things at once, and she just sort of turns away from you with scorn.
Rude. But, I tried to be nice.
Dr. Montrose.
No pressure.
What did she do?
Yes. So fucking weird.
Yeah.
As we all shout across the room, trying different psychology rolls.
Take out the Tommy gun.
How will you save us all?
Dr. Montrose is watching Abner Wick carefully. She holds a cane, so rather than using it to support herself, she could have holds it, grabs it tightly, ready to strike something. She sort of walks into the room to get a closer look at what's going on with Duckworth and this exchange that he's having with Amelia Court, to get a better look at her.
Her eyes glow slightly with this red light.
What to do, and what's Wick doing as he watches this? She's staying in the door.
But now he's just watching. He's slowly walking into the room.
There is something going on here that's beyond petty occultism or even grand Christianity. The only thing I could suggest is, as she's surveying the scene, is to attempt an occult roll to guide. This is a ritual. This is a ritual, and this is something connected to witchcraft. The reality, the potency of this that she studied somewhat, she can now see. And she's no expert, but this will probably be oh fucking hell! I rolled a 0-2. I rolled a 0-2.
Oh yeah!
On a 25. Base 5. I've got 20 points.
That would be a successful Cthulhu Mythos roll as well.
It would be, actually. Yeah.
I'm happy to take it as a combined roll.
Well,
certainly.
Yeah.
Given where we're at,
Why
what
not?
she's seen, then as I just said, this is nothing. This is beyond silly pamphlets and fairy tales.
The occultist in you looks at this, and you realise that it's not an occult tradition you're familiar with, but it bears the hallmarks of an invocation rather than an abjuration.
Right.
So it's very much
trying to
bring out whatever.
Bring out rather than protect against or imprison.
And your Cthulhu mythos knowledge, confirms that. This creature before you may look like Amelia Court, but it's not her.
Then, with that insight, I stride up to the shoulder of Dr. Duckworth, look at him, look at her, look back at him, I say, it's not Amelia Court, and I try and smack her over the head with my cane.
Fantastic.
Amazing. We'll go into Dex, I'm sure, but I think I'm convinced enough by my experience and this thing to join you in that moment of
beating this woman to death.
Well,
It's an invocation. She's trying to bring something here. We must stop her.
I believe so.
Everyone's overtaking PJ.
Yeah. PJ's like,
I rolled exactly the same that I rolled before. I've rolled a 22 for this brawl check, exactly the same as I rolled before when I was trying to bar Abner Wick. I've rolled a 20-fucking-2.
That stick. That's your lucky stick.
Nice.
That is a normal pass.
Let's have the damage.
All those points in brawl, I thought.
Give you a D8, and it's another fucking 6 on a D8, exactly as it was. Fucking fucked up. Ooh. Swear to God, 22 on a percentage and a 6 on a D8.
Two notches on that stick.
and luckily, this elder god only has like 12,000 health, so.
Yeah. Yeah, won't be a problem.
Well, you give her a major wound.
Oh my Christ.
Oh, she doesn't avoid it. Oh, wow.
No. And
Too zealous.
she just about stays conscious as you crack her really hard on the skull. There's the breaking of bone, and she hits the deck. Her eyes are sort of rolling in her skull. She's sort of half conscious. She's babbling nonsense, and she sort of rolls across the floor. You do catch something she says, though. She seems to say, "You fools, you fools."
Dom, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When I saw the battle between them, did I get the sense that there was any? What am I trying to ask here? I think I'm on the other side of this whole discussion right now. I feel like I thought she was the person who was holding Keziah Mason back. She tried to summon Keziah Mason into her. She realized it was a bad idea, so she was trying to push her back. These two have just knocked her out. So now Keziah Mason can come out.
I thought that initially until the response I got personally, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not even going to ask the question. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to see what happens.
Okay.
But I'm really stressed.
So be it. What does Mahoney do?
So, for Dan's benefit, Dr. Montrose has deduced that there's some sort of summoning or something going on
this
here.
is an invocation, not an evocation.
And she's twatted Amelia Court round the head with her stick.
Yeah.
To very, very good effect.
Exactly the same brawl roll and exactly the same damage when I attacked Abner Wick in the middle of her delusion.
She's currently our secret weapon.
Temple splitting effect.
So BJ is going to grab the papers up that she's been poring over.
So I am physically right next to him. But you are faster than me. So I think he breaks out of my hands. Yeah, you are the first. Right? I am 65. Dex.
If we're on Dex order, my Dex is 30.
Oh, you are the last. Oh. We always seem to start with you.
In which case?
Why do we start with him then?
We don't. We usually start with Abner Wick because he's incredibly fast.
Yeah, he's very fast, yeah. Oh, so it was because he was outside and was encountering the... Yeah, he was outside and he was encountering Lennox, or whatever the fuck his name is. Flanagan. Flinders.
But now there's something even faster in the room, because as soon as Mahoney picks up the papers...
Oh, Christ.
They feel hot. They actually burn your hand a little bit. It's like holding a hot pan. The first few seconds you're like, this is actually going to burn in a second. And then just as you think that, something black and tendrillous begins to rise off of the page. You think it's the ink at first rising up, and it kind of glistens like ink, but and suddenly it's poured onto the floor. It's rising up. It's this tumultuous mass, and it's the size of a bear. And you see inside of it these long canine teeth and these red eyes that burn somewhere inside of it.
No.
I mean, I've already seen that, right?
No.
You saw a fragment of it.
Now do you believe?
Oh, meal pie.
This is bigger and worse. And it's clearer as well. It's like its mass is made up. At first, it looks like ink or oil, and then you see it's like these red worms that just fall, maggots just falling and rising and falling and rising. and there's a stench in the room. This stench of earth, like damp earth, fills the room, and the smell of ash and cinders. And can everyone do a sanity roll? Except for Sleep.
Not me.
Except for Sleep.
Yay!
I grew up on Western Superman, so literally nothing he said was that offensive.
83 is very much a fail.
I'm just gonna double check because I'm that kind of cunt of a player. I don't get any dispensation for the fact that I've basically seen one of these before.
Have you lost the maximum amount of sanity that you can lose for seeing one of them?
No, that's not helpful as a fellow player, but yeah, I'll roll myself.
I think it's actually, I think it's very helpful.
Yeah, I think you passed that roll and you lost
That's
one.
true. I escaped. He's right, and you're both right. Even I remember that from the old rules.
Well, I got a 21, so I'm fine, actually. Well, I might not be fine.
I don't think you're fine.
Fine is a relative term at this stage.
You may still deduct as much sanity as you like, but I got a 21 on my 31.
38 of my sanity is 43. I succeeded.
49 on a 57.
I mean, succeeding this.
Did everyone succeed?
No, Montrose failed. I rolled an 83.
Oh, show.
And we needed her. Considering we all go insane as soon as we see any of this stuff, so...
Well, yes.
So, if you succeeded, you lose 3 points of sanity. Dr. Montrose loses 7 points of sanity.
Yeah, okay.
Not that it makes a massive amount of difference at this point.
Yeah.
Is that everyone having a bout of madness right now?
Apart from Sleep.
Well, anyone who's indefinitely insane would...
Which is everybody?
That's all of us.
So you're all having a bout of madness?
Yeah.
Apart from Kirk's Sleep.
Who's outside? He's our secret weapon.
That's pure poetry.
I think a mass hallucination.
I'm going to do a summary.
Yeah,
Great.
I like it.
So I think that'll be more interesting.
This is where it ends.
I think.
As the place begins to burn down.
You're all obsessed with ending this scenario, and you will do anything it takes to...
Just as you all see this thing, you suddenly see Abner Wick running past you towards it. You hear him shout something as this thing turns and lunges towards you. What is Sleep doing?
So, having circled the building, not being able to see anything from the windows, but hearing a certain amount of commotion, I've said, damn it, this is why I like to work alone. and gone to the door of the building and placed myself back up against the wall next to the door with my gun drawn, ready to deal with anyone or anything who comes out of the door.
Okay.
But I'm not going back in that house.
Fair play.
About you wait there for maybe 20 minutes, and then suddenly Abner Wick appears.
Oh, no.
It looks like he's been in a fire. Half of his face is hanging down, and you can see that his teeth look very similar to that skull that you found in his shop. And he's sort of clutching at his face, and he looks around and he goes, "Sleep, sleep." And then he sees you and he says, "Come quickly. The worst is over, but I think your friends might be dead." Do you go with him?
When he says come quickly, does he make it sound like he wants me to go back in the house?
Yeah.
I'm stood right by the door. He's come out the door. I put my gun to his face and I fire 3 shots into his face.
Yeah, boy.
No.
Give me the rolls. Yeah, you can roll these straight.
Okay, that's it. I'm out.
3 straight rolls. That's a regular success. That's a regular success.
Yeah, go for hard.
That's a hard
That's
success.
what I told you. Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
I'm going to spend 3 points of luck to make that last one an extreme success.
Did you say you're shooting him in the back of the head or the face?
Well, it depends where, like, what. I was thinking that he would I was thinking that he would come out the door and he wouldn't see me and I could put my gun up behind the back of his... I was hoping he would come out and I could put my gun to the back of his head. But if he's come out and spotted me, then I'm shooting him in the face.
Yeah. Or you could wait till he turns to go back inside and shoot you.
That's what I had in my head.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
And of course, he's got centralised intelligence, so it's not like one brain that is going through.
I'll say, I'm right behind you, Wick. And as I say, I'm right behind you, Wick. I raise my gun to the back of his head and fire these 3 shots off.
Yeah, he doesn't see it coming.
2 regulars and an extreme.
So roll the damage.
Sorry for the rest of you.
I think we're all dead anyway, so...
But then again, I'm not. I like to work alone. 35 points of damage.
Fucking Christ. Guns are horrible. That's the most from a handgun we've ever done, I think.
So you blow him apart.
I blew him apart. The shame. I like that little doggy.
You've basically shot him in cold blood with him turning his back to you and without showing you any kind of hostility at all.
Sanity roll.
Hey.
Really? Really? That's not all in a day's work.
It ain't the first time, and it won't be the last time.
I think it might be the last time, funnily enough. Now that you say that.
I don't know. He's a mad occultist who's shown... Isn't there some kind of leeway there?
He's a ghoul in training, isn't he?
Hey, why would I have to do a sanity roll? He's certainly not the first person I've blown away.
All he's done to you, really, is ask for a deal.
He's a hardened cop. He's immune to that.
And he furnished you with tea, port and sherry.
Took us out to lunch.
And then accompanied you.
Are you making a moral judgment on my action, or are you telling me I need to...
I'm just saying, the only person he attacked was Harlan Roach, who I think we can all say was a twat.
I think we're pretty sure this guy eats people in some way that we don't understand.
Didn't eat you, though, did he?
No.
Well,
What I'm saying is...
I know you're grabbing onto that last sanity point, but just
I think for the dramatic conceit of Sleep walking away on 1 point of sanity, and brushing his hands. Job well done.
Blows the cord away from the barrel.
So I guess we all need to know what is Sleep doing.
Yeah, well, do you rescue the others? Is the main question.
Are they rescuable?
I say rescue. Do you go and get them? Do you go and check on them, or do you just walk away?
Do you oversee them going into the asylum? Those that are still alive?
I without going through the door, I call in. I say, Mahoney, Steinbeck, Dr. Montrose, Duckworth. Do I get any response?
No answer comes. No answer comes.
What did I hear before what's his face, what's his chops came out?
You heard probably shouting, screaming,
gunfire.
Yeah, probably a bit of gunfire.
Maybe the swish of a blade through the air.
Yeah, the breaking of glass, the splintering of wood.
Maybe some German.
A policeman's whistle.
Maybe some poetry. Not much. Nothing untoward.
Oh man. Oh God. I don't know. You tell me. Oh.
You're on your own, son.
I mean, yeah.
Fucking hell. These guys, I mean, look, this is Call of Cthulhu. We aren't heroes, are we? I think Sleep turns his back. He turns his back and walks away. He walks to the car. He opens the door. He takes one look back at the house. Can you see any movement from the upstairs windows?
No.
He says, I always did like to work alone. Now for some shut-eye. He climbs into the car, closes the door, starts the engine, and drives.
The rest of you wake up 10 hours later.
What the fuck?
You've all on half the hit points you're currently on.
Okay.
And you wake up on the floor in a room that is clearly underground. There are shelving units. There's an old boiler that's sort of humming. And over to your left, there is what appears to be a kind of well. There's a sort of low brick well built into the ground. But you're definitely underground. and you suddenly realise your hands and your ankles are tied. And as you look at the well, a hand comes out, and then another, and a figure rises out of it, followed by another, and you recognise them. It's Hector and Carla, and they walk over to you, and they say, "We brought you back from the house, but now we need to know, where is our nephew?"
Abner is missing.
And the papers?
He must have had them. He must have sealed them, and then someone's got to him before we did. Everyone else that was there is accounted for. We brought them back here. Except for one.
Who?
The detective.
And who is this detective?
Kirk Sleep will return in Of Grave Concern, a Patreon exclusive scenario from the Monophobia collection. That's right. I finally got to work alone.
So, to answer your question, Mike, that's what Crimson Letters is like. You probably run it in one session, to be honest.